We, as a profession, do suffer from both the joys and burdens of helping others. In the last few decades, our professional risks have become more noticed, and we have even gained our own set of diagnostic categories: vicarious trauma and compassion fatigue, both discussed in Chapter 1. However, recently our challenges and obligations have multiplied exponentially as the world has become more and more chaotic. As if the usual did not offer up enough challenges and pressure, events of 2020 and beyond have added significantly to the weights on our shoulders. In the new normal that began in the spring of 2020, we all faced unprecedented additional challenges that have further complicated our lives and continue to do so. Depending on your area of service and the location where you serve, you might be able to look back longingly on the past where, even though you might have struggled from time to time, you often had the luxury of standing outside of the major issues that were impacting those whom you were helping. However, now it is more likely that you are reeling from many of the same events as the people you support. As a result, you have been hit hard with additional stresses, traumas, challenges, and burdens. It may even be the case that you are just as, or sometimes even more, rattled as the ones you are meant to and want to help. It is important to note here that some of you reading this new edition have been experiencing extreme stress for many years, or even decades, while living and working in parts of the world where violence, poverty, war, systemic racism, and such have an unrelenting hold. For you, this idea of shared experience with clients will not be new in the way it is for readers for whom the 2020 pandemic was their first major community crisis. Nonetheless, your challenges and stress have also been increased and further complicated by the pandemic and other factors that have destabilized families, communities, and countries throughout the world. Before I get much further into this book, I want to acknowledge that I have also been affected by local, national, and world events. My own situation definitely gave me pause before I agreed to write this revision. In many ways, my dilemma is parallel to the one many of you have. How can I help you when I am similarly rattled? That challenges me in my personal and professional life, and on every page I write. Nonetheless, after much consideration, I realized that perhaps my own situation could further illuminate my point of view. To a large extent, I can relate to what you are dealing with from the inside. At the same time, I, like many, if not all of you, also stand to benefit from being able to help others in these tough times. For example, hopefully by writing this book. Is that not why we become psychotherapists in the first place? Because it rewards and nourishes us to be able to help others. Though I have never thought of myself as an expert, experts are supposed to know everything, and I know very well that I do not. I do take pride in being a specialist in the theory and treatment of trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, as well as self-care for therapists and other helping professionals. I have published several well-regarded books on these topics, see under my name in the reference section. As such, I am often one of those looked to for advice in these times, just as your clients and others look to you. Similar to you, I need to figure out how to manage my own energy and emotions and establish balance so that my needs do not get completely lost in the mix while I am engaged in helping my colleagues, supervisees, and students. And, as I suspect you might relate to, I do not always find that particularly easy to do. So when I speak of we as being impacted and challenged by world events, I am consciously and honestly intending to include myself. Every one of us, both reading and writing this book, can be distressed in multiple ways. At the same time, we carry on because others look to us for support, even when we may need support ourselves. We are also human. We are also vulnerable. And whether those we are helping are on the front lines, soldiers, first responders, medical personnel, organizers, and so on, or simply endeavoring to manage their daily lives,